And this is where what we do is put a ton of emphasis on education, because it's like, this is a product that you will never find sitting on a health food store shelf, because there's just too much of a learning curve with it. I've had people end up in the emergency room with, a bottle of a tincture made from Lomatium. We get the phone call and we talk to the emergency room doctors and say, this is what you're seeing, and this is what they presented with, and this is how they're feeling. And a lot of times they'll get a steroid shot because it looks like an allergic reaction. And the steroid shot does nothing. I mean, I've seen many times. So our goal here with what we do in the education piece is we want to upfront everyone with as much information as possible. And then you can make a decision on whether or not you actually want to add something like this into your routine. Because even though herbal medicine, I believe, is so safe and so effective, there is still something that's very, very important about learning what do I need and what amounts, and how am I going to use it in my own family. So we, over the years, and this was after my dad had passed away, I've developed a protocol to help support and detox the liver, help clear mucus out of the organs. It's a little herbal protocol that we suggest before using the Lomatium. And it takes your chances of getting a rash down from about 10% down to about 3%. So I would just say, if this is something that you've never heard of, you can even just do a quick Google search, and the plant is spelled Lomatium, and it's pronounced Lomatium. So this is one of those things, like I said, that I would never, ever, ever want to be without. You can also use it topically on, we put it we infuse it into an oil, and we put it in different skin salves. We do this for our own family. You should see in our, almost all of my siblings, we have these little home apothecaries that are, it almost reminds me of like that really old Romeo and Juliet movie where the friar has, he's collecting the herbs and he's doing all kinds of different things with them. And there's all the jars and the things just curing. A lot of my siblings, that is what our house looks like. And to me, I really believe that many, many modern humans are realizing that this is one of the best ways for us to take care of our health and be responsible when it comes to, to doing that. Now, this is where I'm going to say also, you really have to use your common sense. If you have a broken bone, you get in an accident, if you even get an infection with a high fever, you need to go seek out medical attention. I mean, this is not, I've had people over the years say, my son broke his leg, and I'm like, go to the doctor, please go to the hospital. I mean, in a perfect world, from what I envision, and this has been something that I feel is super, super important, is we will take the best of Western medicine, the best of natural medicine, modern medicine, natural medicine, and they will marry. Because if you think about it, there's so many things that we can use to benefit us in the natural realm, and also to help with our longevity as modern humans with modern technology. In fact, 8.5 months ago, I got a full knee replacement, and I had a water ski accident 25 years ago. It messed up my leg, it messed up my knee, and it got worse and worse and worse. And finally, last year, I was able to get a full knee replacement. And the crazy thing is the beautiful thing is because of the knowledge that I have, I was able to use all of the herbs that are in my own personal arsenal and my knowledge. And I didn't have to go on any pain medication for inflammation after I had my knee surgery. And that was I had never had surgery. And this was the first surgery that I had ever had. I'm not on any medications. And of course, there's a little protocol of things that they want you to be on to help with inflammation, to help with pain, to help with, so that you can sleep, or maybe you're having problems with constipation or nausea or whatever. And I have this amazing toolbox of herbal medicine that I had a great conversation with the orthopedic surgeon. So when we were getting ready to do the surgery, he's like, here's the list of medications I suggest that we always put you on. And I said, well, I'm kind of an herbal person and I would love to do the natural. And he said, well, what would you do? And so I laid it out. Well, okay, he wanted me to go on a drug called Celebrex, which I guess is for inflammation. And so I said, well, I would do cat's claw, turmeric, and CBD. And I would do also the CBD for pain. And I had this whole little list of things. And this is where I really believe he was the third orthopedic that I saw. And I think this is where we really need to tune into our intuition. And if you're going to have somebody doing something really big, like cutting you open and doing something like that, you really need to get a good feel for this person who is going to be taking care of you, because you are in a very vulnerable spot. I mean, it was such an interesting thing for me to go through because it was my first time having any type of surgery. But when I explained to him what I wanted to do, it was really amazing because he was surprised that I knew so much. And I was surprised that he knew so much about the herbs that I was wanting to take and the natural remedies I wanted to use as I was healing my knee. So to me, I think that is a really big piece of the puzzle. Okay, so let me maybe share with you some of the things that I've used as I've gone through life. As a woman and as a woman who's now on the other side of menopause, it actually, I will tell you, it took me a while to even admit that I was going through menopause. I think that as women, even though it's a normal part of life, it's like, I'm not old enough to go through menopause. No. And I think I actually went through some phases where I wasn't even using the herbs that I knew I should at least research and use because I was in a little bit of denial. So I got over that pretty quickly. And there's 9 girls in my family, and most of us are in the older tier of all of the kids in my family. So we started kind of going through this together. And this is where it was actually really super, super fun and super effective. Now, one of the things that I found that changed the game for me was adaptogens. Now, adaptogenic herbs are herbs that literally do that. They adapt and balance your body chemistry. If you think about even modern stress, so menopause here for the side for a second, as modern humans, we are used to modern stress. It's so part of our lifestyle, and just part of that, we don't realize that we're in a constant state of fight or flight. And especially if we don't have practices in place like meditation, disconnecting from our technology, a good sleep environment. If we have our TV on in the bedroom and we have our phone right next to us and notifications are popping, and we don't have this, really good routine for sleep, or whatever all of the things are that many of you listening to this probably have a routine in place for handling modern stress. At least I would hope. So adaptogens literally will help your body realize that you are not running from a tiger, you're not running for your life. It helps to bring your body into balance. And there's some, like one of my favorite herbs is valerian root. And now that is not an adaptogen. What that does is that helps to balance your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And I've used this, like when my mom passed away, there was so much stress, and it was like, okay, I need to just bring the anxiety, bring the stress down. And valerian, along with a herb called blue vervain, those two together, I'd put into a tincture. And actually, that's one of my dad's original tinctures, just kept my body in homeostasis, because as one of the oldest, everybody really gathered at my place from wherever they were living for my mom's funeral. And it was very, very stressful. And sometimes I even get caught in the, oh, I don't need that, or I forget that I might have these things as a tool, because I try not to even do too many things, even natural things, and if I can keep my diet and my lifestyle clean.